At the minute I'm trying to go through the North African campaign of World War II and talk about, Rommel and his introduction to the campaign, and Operation Compass, Operation Sonnenblume, and all the other ones, Brevity, all that good stuff, and eventually get to El Alamein, and then Tunisia, and then on to Italy. And in that process, what I've done is I've collected a load of books on it. So I have Playfair's official histories. I've got 4 of them, all of them. I have Montgomery's memoirs. I have numerous books on the Kindle about the Long Range Desert Group, Rommel. I've got several books on Rommel, and the list goes on and on and on. And yet when I get to the battles, and when I'm trying to figure out exactly what was happening, on who was there and what was there, like what units were there, I'm finding it very difficult. I have histories on 8th Army and 7th Armoured Division and parts of the Africa Corps and all that, and yet I'm constantly getting surprised by, hey, this battalion's here, and I'm like, where's that come from? What is that part of 7th Armoured Brigade? Is it part of another unit? I don't know. And the histories have left it very vague. Most of the units just kind of appear and then disappear, and nobody kind of explains where they came from, who they were part of, who was commanding them, that sort of thing. They just kind of, hi, the 3rd Coldstream Guards are there, and then they disappear again. And it's annoying because we don't even know who was commanding them or what they consisted of or anything like that, and it's really frustrating. So, in my hope to try and get some more detailed and super accurate information, I've been searching the internet for anything I can find on the organisational history of these units. I thought I'd struck gold. And I kind of have done in some ways. I found a book called The Africa Corps, An Organisational History, 1941 to 1943 by George F. Nafziger. And basically this is a history of the Africa Corps in organisational terms. So what divisions and what battalions and regiments and all that good stuff. So this is quite good, right? Unfortunately not. And the reason is, well, quite simple. Nobody knows. Basically, in the foreword to this book, or this pamphlet, or whatever you want to call it, the author kind of says, actually, we don't know. So an organisational history of the Africa Corps basically says, we don't know. There are some problems with this data, as it is not always labelled as whether the organisations presented are actual organisations, theoretical organisations, or wished-for organisations. Amongst those documents are large numbers of divisional records, Africa Corps records, and OKH records. At times, there are inconsistencies between the North African records and those of the OKH. These inconsistencies are discussed, and the inconsistencies are ascribed to OKH wishes for what should be in North Africa versus what actually made it. The Germans at the time didn't actually know what was actually there in North Africa. I mean, Rommel probably did, but he didn't survive the war to let us know. So as a result, we are kind of left in a sort of, I guess that unit was there, it may have been there, or it may not have existed. And then it's like, well, where was every single one of those units located at every single point in time? No idea. Got no idea, and I don't think anyone will ever know. And this is a big problem because the Africa Corps is quite a well-known unit in terms of history. You think of Second World War, Africa Corps is going to be up there somewhere, and Rommel is a very famous general and blah blah blah. And there's many books written on Rommel, there's many books written on the Africa Corps, the 7th Armoured Division, and blah blah blah. And yet we don't know what those units consisted of accurately. How many tanks, how many machine guns, what battalions were there, what regiments were there. Your guess is as good as mine. There are some which you can say, yes, that unit was definitely there, and then other ones you go, no idea. So if anyone was wanting to know what does the order of battle of the Africa Corps look like, good luck, because you probably won't find it. Or you might find it for El Alamein, or you might find it for some of the other battles, but then that's it. The rest of it in between, and what happened earlier on, and what happened later on, you've probably got no idea. And that is for the Africa Corps. So good luck trying to find out what the 112th Rifle Regiment of the Soviet Union had, because you got no chance. Absolutely no chance. And I think this is a big problem, because there comes a point where you go, right, I'm going to have to guess, or I'm going to have to fill the gaps, or I'm going to have to just be vague or leave it out. And a lot of the authors tend to be vague, or tend to, mention bits yeah, it had 2 regiments, and then it doesn't say what the second one was because it doesn't know. And at that point you think, well, this is distorting history, or this is a gap in history that we can't fill. Or if they have been filled, it certainly hasn't been filled in English, because I haven't found a book that does it. So yeah, we're in trouble here. And if that's the problem with the Africa Corps, which is a very well-known unit, when it comes to all the other battles, all the other campaigns, all the other units, we really don't have much of a chance.